G'day fellas. This video is part of a series that I'm going to be doing on the improvement checklist. Not too long ago, I ran a poll on the Aussie Drongo channel and I asked the question, now that the improvement checklist has been officially released, what would you like to see added to it next? And overwhelmingly, you guys said videos focused on every civ and their standard land and water opening. So today, we're going to be taking a look at the Dutch and we're going to be taking a look at their standard land and water opening because it is the exact same opening. And really, there's not a lot of discussion when it comes to what their standard opening is. So let's get into it. I'll take you guys down into it and we'll see exactly what it looks like. You can use this opening in 90% of the Dutch games that you play. So very quickly, all villages over onto coin. You can see straight away. And then moving out envoy and explorer in roughly similar directions. Villager in queue straight away. One villager in the town center going to begin herding. Other villagers going to begin on the coin mine. Explorer picking up any treasures that he can. Actually, it's probably because we don't pick up any treasures right now. We're not going to pick up any of the treasures that we've got out on the map here. Okay, so gathering up only 100 of our wood. We're not going to be gathering up all of our wood. Now, typically, you're going to be picking up all of these coin treasures around the map, okay? We're not going to do it because I'm going to show that it can be done without the coin treasures, okay? So, we're now going to go at our house over here. And so the idea is that we're going to get to 12 villages. I'm not going to take this treasure. I'm just going to kill the guardians on it, just so I get that XP a little bit faster. So we're going to get to 12 villages, and we're going to send in 3 villages from the home city. So you can see we're at 11 at the moment, so we want to get up to 12. So we're just leaving that on the ground. Keep moving on. And so the idea is that we're going to get to those 12 villages, and then we're going to move everybody off coin onto food. So we want to try and push this out just a little bit closer out to our villagers that are mining the coin, just so that they're going to have less walking distance as well. Still looking for those nice juicy treasures. Nothing too good just yet. My favorite treasure isn't on the map that we've spotted. Actually, there's a fair bit of treasures up towards the north. I guess that's what happens. So we did a little bit of poor macro right here. So you might be wondering, what's the poor macro? We overgathered 15 coin. So not a super big deal, but it might make the difference. Gonna send in our 3 villagers now. And so this build order, you should be able to achieve it 100% of the time. There shouldn't be any risk of not making it. As you can see, we haven't picked up any treasures so far. So now I'm just being very careful with my herds, just making sure I've got everything underneath my town center as well, so that it's going to get picked up. I minimize the walking distance. If my villagers had to walk all the way out to here, that's all that distance that they could be gathering food when they're not gathering food. So something to consider. You've got to really make sure that you're quite careful with that. So we've got our 3 villagers coming in right now. So what we're going to do is we're going to shoot that right there, and our villagers are going to come out onto this straight from the town center. Boom, there we go. So they pop out, no walking, and you can see that right now. So we're going to pause it just as we go idle. I attempted to pause it. I failed. I apologize. So we had about, I think, 20 food left. So if we hadn't have mucked up our macro, we wouldn't have gone idle here, but that's okay. We're still nailing this pretty well, I would say. So now let's get into the transition and see exactly what the transition looks like. Now, keep in mind, this is the same on land maps and water maps. It's always going to be the absolute same. So we're going to be going up with the quartermaster. So going up with the quartermaster and straight away moving our villagers over onto wood. Now, making sure to pick up our wood crates on the ground. Keep in mind we had an extra 100 here. And we're also going to be doing some herding. Now, with the Dutch, you don't need to do a whole lot of herding. Only really 1 hunt. As long as you've got hunts in the back, you should be okay. So we're just going to be herding in the 1 hunt today. We're actually going to opt for shooting this back one in. That way, if the herd does straggle its way down towards the south, we're going to be more likely to shoot it in. So from here, what we're going to be doing is gathering up 350 wood. And then once we get to 350 wood, we're going to be moving everybody over to food. And then once we've got enough to place our bank, we place our bank. And then from there, we move almost everybody over to coin so that we don't go idle just before the transition period finishes. So you can see that we've moved this hunt right next to our villagers on these trees here. So the idea is that they are going to be shooting it just like that. And then we can just transition them over like that. And so now you can see we've got that beautiful, perfect macro. So the first bank that's going to go down is going to go down right here. So we're going to get ready for it. There's the first bank going down. And now we're transitioning everybody over onto coin. just because we don't want to go idle at this point. Explorer just hanging out, doing his thing. Gonna keep herding our hunt back in. Bank slowly going up. If we have a little bit of idle time here, it's not going to be a big deal. Doesn't look like we are. So going to send in our 700 wood straight away and move everybody off. Back on over. Now, we want to be gathering up our wood, so ideally, one villager per wood crate. So we're leaving, we should be leaving 2 villagers over on this coin mine. That's going to be sufficient for us to not go idle.
Hallo, jager.
Klaar. Ja. Ik jager. Klaar. Jager.
Jager.
Okay. And so now we're going to be placing down our second bank. So we're going to be placing it down towards the front of the base. Now keep in mind, even though it doesn't look like it, banks are actually square. So you don't need to rotate them. They actually are already rotated. Or when I say they're already rotated, as in they are already, you know, they're a square. So rotating them doesn't really give you much. So now the 700 wood's come in. It's going to be a little bit of a struggle from here to explain it. So what I'm going to do, so I'm going to just drop down our racks, okay, with our first 200 wood. Then we're going to drop down a market. So we're probably not going to use that villager. Let's go with that villager. We're going to drop down a house as well. Now, keep in mind, you can do this with a stable. You don't have to do it with a barracks. Next shipment has come in, so we're going with the bank wagon. And villagers are now going out over to the coin mine. So you can see that we've got... Oh, she's actually meleeing. All right, never mind then, girl. Just do your thing. All right, so this will actually give us enough resources here to create another bank if we want. We're not going to do that. We're gonna train up skirms. We're going to pretend that we're under some sort of early aggression or early attack. We might go a little bit idle here. Might cancel that one. I think it's probably better that we just try and get our fifth skirmisher out. I don't think it's going to happen though. And so what we can do is we can now start dropping down our fourth bank as well. Training skirmishers. And this is our very basic Dutch opening that you can do in pretty much, you can do this in team games, you can do this in 1 versus 1. It's always going to allow you significant flexibility in the early game. You can see that we've got 4 banks down. We're at 6 minutes 30 at the moment, so not doing too bad. Our next shipment is going to be 600 wood. And then keep in mind that there's going to be like this little period here where you're going to potentially be maxed out or be capped out on your population. You've got 700 wood coming in right now, so don't be afraid to buy some wood. You're just going to buy wood at the market like that and drop down another house like that. And just fill that one in because it will happen during your 600 wood coming in. And so then once the house comes up, then you're just training units again. Now, if you're going full skirmishers, probably want to create like a box of some sort for yourself to defend against your opponents. And so that's essentially it. That's a look at what or how you would play just a very standard Dutch opening with this 600 wood. You've got a couple of options again. Most likely going to research hunting dogs as well as your steel traps. Get those out ASAP, and then also get your 5th bank up. And then from there you can potentially look for an age up as well. Maybe chuck a few more houses down. You know, just like that. You can see that now we're exhausting our wood. We've got 450, so we can chuck down 2 more houses. Get skirmisher in queue. We've got our hunting dogs. We can get steel traps now. And then from here, we can just buy that extra wood for the 3rd bank. Just like that. And we're slowly working our way towards it. And at the same time, we're still making skirmishers. So that's your very, very simple Dutch build order, which you can use in almost every single circumstance. If you've got any questions about this build or if you think there's anything that I've missed out, please let me know down in the comments. Other than that, I hope you've enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.